Undo, do, undo, do, undo, do. Bitcoin is going to unravel fiat and become the global reserve currency. It is what's going to stabilize fiat, and ultimately it was going to countries that have Bitcoin, who is backing their fiat, is going to have like a stable fiat. The amount of fiat you have will be tied to your Bitcoin. It's the foundation. Okay, so if I look down here, that's right, the foundation of the fifth age. This is the MayanZodiac Prophecy, and the foundation of the fifth age. I am just the storyteller. I am Sahdu, right? Who is sharing and explaining the meaning of the MayanZodiac Prophecy. This is like a Rosetta Stone left in plain sight. The foundation is Bitcoin. Dao, the energy. The Dao is the blockchain. The blockchain, and each one of these represents a different blockchain. Now, if you go to foundups.com and you can look at the updated image that I released last year as part of DevCon 5 in Osaka, which I attended and went to and did 3 events, do events. The blockchain is, think of it as, is a tool, and it allows for the creation of danos or DAOs, or what I called in 2010 open corporations, open organizations that were renamed by Ethereum as DAOs and DACs. Okay. What makes Cardano so powerful is that the idea of entities in the future having shares is going to go away, and what they're going to have is tokens. So these nonprofits, these truly autonomous entities, when I say autonomous, actually driven by AI, and that's the do, do. The do, in which we have coming, and it's going to be the merging of AI and the blockchain together. There's going to be this distributive unconsciousness. The do is a distributive unconsciousness. It's not conscious, it's distributive because it's a distributed network, right? Decentralized distributed network. And this do is going to manage all of this, and it's going to move Satoshis from the foundation into the Bitcoin Global Reserve Fund, which is going to be managed autonomously by the do. And the do then is going to launch all these tokens on this blockchain, right? Tokenize everything. I'll be a token. Your YouTube channel will be a token. Everything will have a token. And some of these tokens are going to become danos. They'll evolve. They'll start off as a token, and they'll actually become like a global cooperative. Think of, in many respects, Cardano is vehicle for launching danos, a vehicle for launching decentralized autonomous organizations. Something I've been talking about for a decade now is coming. And that is what Charles, when he says we're going to take over the world, what he's talking about is the disruption of Wall Street, the disruption of banking, the disruption of the, controlling interests of a few, these billionaires, these entities, billion-dollar entities. These corporations are all going to be disrupted. Corporations are walking dead, and that's the true power. I only invest and own cryptos that I believe in will fit into this paradigm. So obviously I've been a holder of Cardano for quite some time. And the simple fact is their idea of creating tokenized everything now is possible with these new iterations of Cardano. And I have basically a paper talking about this. I'll link him below. I even have a description of how this framework would work. And I invite anyone who is interested in helping to launch this. is to look at my work, incorporate it into their work, just as my work played a seminal work in the creation of Ethereum, which created a seminal work in the creation of Cardano, right? We are moving to really what I call the second or third stages. We're moving from the unstage of the blockchain to the DAO stage of the blockchain. And there are DAOs out there. People say, well, there's already DAOs, but they're not true DAOs. A true DAO is truly governed by smart, autonomous machine learning contracts that are completely independent of the system. And how the system would work is really simple. You have a simple app that allows anyone to create a tokenized anything that then bases the valuation of those tokens on the data of Bitcoin, which is the longest amount. We have this hash information. We know what, basically we have all this data on Bitcoin. And as these tokens mirror Bitcoin over a 10-year period, which is like this, so all tokens will be 19 million. After 19 million, they burn all the rest. And the idea is that things aren't eternal, things die. And the life of a token is 10 years, is because we live in a finite universe. We can't have something that is infinite. And the idea that these tokens also, if you don't spend them, will actually degrade, will actually return back into their system, just as we return back into the system. We have to build an economic framework that mirrors life itself, that mirrors the universe. There is nothing that is immortal, not even our universe, our galaxy, our sun, nothing is immortal. And all these things have to flow. So Cardano represents really the one person. He called it the central part of Cardano is the Ouroboros. The Ouroboros, if you know my talks, you know me talking about the Ouroboros for the last decade. As the first tribe, we were the Ouroboros. That was the name of our tribe, the Ouroboros. As the prophecy of the Ouroboros, the head of the dragon is us. We are consuming the planets. We are consuming everything. And just as the planet consumes, as everything consumes, these tokens need to ultimately consume themselves. And that is why this transition from a token to a dano will happen. The AI is practically there. So we have the third part. And the third part is AI that manages it all. I don't control the tokens. You don't control the tokens. The tokens just exist as a potential, just as the tokens just exist in Bitcoin as a potential, and mirroring like Bitcoin, where these tokens basically seed and you have an opportunity to mine these tokens with your participation. Ultimately, that becomes the reality. Now, this is the second stage. Once you have this, you have you can build a whole economic system around this framework. So first, you needed a tool. That foundation is Cardano. Once you have that tool, you can now create the first prototype of tokenizing everything, of creating. And then the third stage is these tokens then become these danos, and these danos start funding the whole system. So if you look at the original, here's the circle, the original circle, right? Of it, or the Ouroboros, is it seeding around and consuming itself and launching and seeding itself around. Putting a shout out to Charles right here. This is Charles. If you look at this, looks just like Charles Hoskins right here. He is number 16. Here's Brock Pierce, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And number 15 there is Sailor, Micro Sailor right there, who's also important. All these are important individuals in the whole framework of the fifth age, not necessarily on just Bitcoin or the blockchain or anything else. It's actually there for the fifth age. So undoubtedly to you, congratulations, Charles. I know we've had our differences in the past, and I'm very proud of Charles and how he has listened and he's evolved, and he has, whether consciously or unconsciously, he has answered those questions that I have posed to him. Thank you, Charles. Undoubtedly.